Oh my God, we're doing it. Hello, Kemptville Pride. Are you feeling proud? Welcome to your next drag workshop. This one is called Finding Your Drag Persona. Now, what's my drag persona? Who am I? I'm so glad you asked. Selena Vyle is my name, and I am the Vile bitch from Toronto. I'm sorry if there are children in the room. Listen, it is 2 a.m. on a Saturday night. My neighbors are blasting music, and my butt is making noise up against my chair. So let's try and ignore all those factors. I'm sure you can't even hear any of them. That's all just for me. So, a little backstory on this queen and how she found her persona. I was not always a bearded queen. I did not always know how to do my makeup. This is all stuff that I am still discovering. It's all stuff that I was not good at. In fact, I did not want to start drag for a long time because I was afraid of what this would look like. And slowly as time goes on, I am finding my face and I am coming into my own as a persona. Now, I have been a performer for a long time before I started drag. I have a backstory in musical theater and in comedy, writing sketches, doing improv, singing, all that stuff. So when I started drag, I had to ask myself, what skills am I going to pull from and who is Selena going to be? So finding your name is always the first step. A lot of people have different schools of thought. Some people go with their street name and their first pet. It might be a feminine name that speaks to you or a masculine name that speaks to you or a gender neutral name that speaks to you. If you join a drag house, which is where you have a drag mother who's your mentor and then kind of names you, you can go that route. You can take on her last name and come up with a first name that kind of goes with it. It might be a pun. A great pun name is Lisa Newcar, Adele Computer. Great pun names. Don't take those, they exist already. Some people like to do a play on someone else's name. Sarah Jessica Parker will become Sarah Jurassica Porker. Anything can happen. There are no rules. And then you could just be a really fun thing, like Karen from finance. Rhonda from accounting. Those are great drag names that exist. Don't steal those. But if that inspires you, who are you? And some people just like to go with like a star name like Bob the Drag Queen. Says it all. Trinity the Tuck Taylor. The name says it all. I came up with the name Selena Vyle after going through many different incarnations. I was first Blue Barrymore, which to me had a beautiful double meaning. I was then Megan Swallows. If you know Anne of Green Gables, you know that one's dirty. I eventually settled on Selena Vyle because I really loved the singer Selena. And I am part Mexican. My mother is from Mexico. My father is from Lebanon. I feel more connected to my Mexican side. So I wanted to really be instantly recognizable as a Latina. Even though I don't necessarily look it, I wanted the name to say it. So I chose that name because she is an iconic singer from Latin America. And then Vyle came from Catwoman. So in the movie Batman Returns, I was always obsessed with Michelle Pfeiffer. And Catwoman's human name was Selena Kyle. So I wanted to play off of that. And so I took Selena Kyle, dropped the K, put in a V, made it a little bit more mysterious, a little more sexy and sultry, but also disgusting. So Selena Vyle was born. Because those were two really big inspirations for me as a child growing up. I always admired women. I always admired strength in these women that I loved. So to me, that really spoke to me. Now, as far as who I am as a queen came about, that went through many incarnations. Immediately out of the gate, Selena is a feminist. So the first number I ever put together was a mix of Madonna speaking on sexual empowerment as a woman. So that kind of kicked me off into a career of being political, There's many different routes you can take with your drag. You can be a very political queen. A lot of people are, or king or gender performer. You can also be a comedy performer. I am that as well because I have a background in comedy. So I like to play up all my skills. I do musical improv cabarets. Literally, the possibilities are endless. If you have a puppet, you can be a puppeteer. If you are great at voices, you could put on a character voice. There's a lot of really great drag queens who are kind of at the top of the game who really put on a voice when they're in drag. You see it with Ben de la Creme in particular. If you watch Drag Race, Ben de la Creme has a speaking voice in drag and a speaking voice out of drag. She's kind of charmingly delightful and kind of speaks up here when she's in drag. And then when she's out of drag, she's really down here. It's exhausting to carry on a character, but if you can pull it off and if you want to go for it, go for it. I am someone who likes to be 100% authentically myself at all times. I don't like to put on a character. I like to play characters. But as far as Selena goes, she will always be who I am out of drag as well. So I like to be honest with myself 100% of the time. That is not to say that if you are playing a character, you are not being honest. Okay? A lot of people are more themselves when they are a character than when they're walking around day to day. Being in drag allows you to push every aspect of your personality outward. If you are a shy person in real life, putting on a wig and some makeup and an outfit is just probably going to be the thing that gets you, laughing along with people, cracking jokes and getting it done. So drag can really be an incredibly empowering and beautiful thing. I want you to think about who you might be as a drag performer. Now, not everyone is a comedy queen. You might be someone who likes to stand and deliver. You might be a ballad queen. You might be someone who likes to stand in front of an audience in a gown, dripping in jewels, hair done right up to the gods, and just standing there and commanding an audience. And the power in that, let me tell you, it's everything. Are you a dancing queen, maybe? Are you someone who likes to turn the party? If you are, let me tell you, get practicing in those heels because they will work against you if you don't have practice. I've been doing this for about 2.5 years now, and I started out as a dance teacher as well, teaching classes in heels, and I am still someone who struggles dancing in heels. I don't know how people do it.
Happy Pride! I don't know about y'all, but I feel confident when I'm in my heels.
Also want to think about momentum if you are a dancer. Are you giving 100% of the times, or are you going to let it build slowly? Get their attention, and then once the beat drops, just pound right into those dance moves? You tell me. If you are a political queen, what does that mean? If you're a political queen, you're probably very outspoken. You are going to probably create a lot of mixes that really say something. I do have feminist mixes. I have a mix about immigration where I use political speeches by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, my favorite congresswoman. I have numbers about coming into your queerness and the struggles that you go through with your family to come out. So mixes are a great thing. Speeches are a great thing. Getting on a microphone. Are you a queen who is great on a mic? Are you maybe a comedian or a talker? Are you someone who might be great at hosting a drag bingo show where you're cracking jokes, doing numbers, and calling out bingo numbers? Audiences love that, let me tell you. If you're someone who can connect with an audience and make them laugh on a microphone, there are a lot of performers who cannot handle a microphone. Killer performers, but once they get on the mic, the energy in the room just completely drops. And that's okay because not everybody has every skill. So really just work with, right now, where you feel most comfortable. Ask yourself this: what are your influences? What did you grow up loving? What do you love right now? I personally really thought that when Selena started, she was going to be very mysterious, kind of witchy. My inspiration originally was Selena, the main bad guy in the Supergirl movie, played by Faye Dunaway. But I quickly realized that's not me. And I think the reason that's not me in the end is because I don't have a very strong sense of self visually. This took a long time to develop. I'm still figuring out how I should wear my hair all the time and what kind of wigs look best on me. I am not a fashionista. I am not one of those queens who is going to churn a look, walk down a runway, and make people gag. That is not me. I am more of a practical queen. I get my outfits from AliExpress because they are breathable bodysuits. So I could never really come up with that witchy, sexy persona because my look is really basic and I couldn't honor that. Also, I'm not a dark person. I am in a way, but I'm also a very light comedic person who likes, I'm a Libra, okay? I like everyone to feel comfortable and respected and at home in my shows. But maybe you're dark, right? Maybe you like to go there, and if you do, go for it. There are so many other types of queens. We have spooky queens. Are you a spooky queen? Have you ever watched Dragula by the Boulet brothers? It's available on Amazon Prime if you haven't watched it. Or Out TV, which is a very cheap subscription per month. But there are many a spooky queen who like to do very witchy, warlocky, or super clowny or horror makeup and outfits. I find a lot of those performers are very crafty and their minds are just going, there's just so much inspiration happening up here that they know exactly what they're going to look like because for them it's more about the visual. When it comes to performance, spooky queen is going to give you, honestly, it's usually funny and it can be gory and it can make you cringe. And those are the best types of performers. They're so fun. Are you glamorous? As I said with the Stand and Deliver, are you inspired by pageantry, the whole Miss Universe thing? Do you love yourself some gowns and some big hair? Do you love looking regal and gorgeous? Are you an impersonator? Do you get excited about maybe playing, I don't know, Liza Minnelli or Madonna or Freddie Mercury or Elton John? There are so many incredible celebrities that drag performers have built careers impersonating. And honestly, it is a great way to start. If you're not yet comfortable coming up with your own persona, get yourself in drag and pick somebody that you really admire. It could be for their personality, it could be for their look, and dress yourself up as them, act like them, and see where that takes you. You're going to start to feel what's comfortable and what's not. If it doesn't feel authentic, that's okay. Just keep doing it until you kind of blend it with your own personality and find your own way through it. So here are some exercises that you can do to kind of find your personality, okay? Find your drag persona. Write down a list of these. Who are my drag influences? So who are some drag performers that you have seen that you really admire? Ask yourself why. Next, who are your celebrity and pop culture influences. So who have you seen on TV, on the internet, in the movies that really grab your attention? Try and figure out what it is about them that grabbed your attention and see what kind of aspects might work for you out of that. Next, I want you to write down what you have to say. What do you want to use your drag voice for? Is it internal? Is it to discover something within yourself? Is it external? Is it to bring happiness to other people? And if it's the second one, what is the overall message that you want to bring to other people? Write yourself a list of drag names. It doesn't have to be the one. You can go through so many. Who are your style icons? If you're like me, you don't have one, and that's okay. But try and figure it out. Try and think about who you've seen and what you love about what they're wearing and how that speaks to you and how you think you can express that. Next, try and think about a person that you know. It can be a fictional person that you know from literature or film and TV, or it could be a person in your actual life. Find a person who is completely the opposite of you, someone who is not close to your personality type at all, someone you don't really relate to even, and then walk around as them for, but I'm not going to say a day, 20 minutes. Just put yourself in their shoes, kind of try and talk like them, try and act like them. I'm not trying to make you be a different person. I just want you to see how it feels to be a different person. And you can take from it what you will. You may discover that you do have a mean side, or you do have a funny side, or you do have a loving side, or a loud side, or something that you didn't know you had within you. Next, I want you to write down all of your skills that could lend themselves to drag. Is it makeup? Is it hair design? Is it fashion? Is it comedy? Is it speaking? Is it singing? Are you a dancer? Write down a list of every skill you have. And when you do drag, I want you to promise me that you are going to use every skill you have at your disposal, because it needs to be seen. Next question. How are you unique? How are you different from any of the queens that you've seen on TV, or that you follow online, or that you've seen in your local bars? What makes you different from them? Listen, all of this stuff is going to take time. You cannot find your drag persona overnight. Actually, maybe you can. Some of you might. But over time, your persona will change. There are plenty of drag performers who completely revamp themselves. Some of them change their names 10 years into their career. Some of them completely change from not having a character to becoming a character. There are no rules in drag, and that is the most important thing to remember. There are no rules. There are no rules. You think nails are necessary for drag? I say no. You think body hair needs to be shaved for drag? I say no. I keep all my body hair. I keep my beard. I keep it all. And do I look any less beautiful to you than someone who might not have a beard? Maybe, actually, I'm not that pretty. So you go ahead and be you. When we talk about gender performers, you know what a drag queen is. You know what a drag king is, right? A gender performer. What is that? It might be you. A gender performer is a performer who does not conform to male or female personas. They kind of encompass it all. They're fluid between whether they're going to be masculine or feminine that night, or maybe they're both all at once. Androgyny is beautiful. Crossing the boundary between masculine and feminine is exciting. Expressing your own idea of your own gender and sexuality is empowerment. Traditional drag, as we see on that RuPaul's Drag Race show, is men dressing as women. So already we're screwing with gender norms. What they don't show you are the incredible drag kings who are out there winning other competitions like House of Drag and Dragula. The incredible gender performers out there who play by their own rules. And that's what drag is about. It's about playing by your own rules. So as you do this, as you come up with your name, as you come up with a look, as you come up with the persona, I really want you to think about that. What are the rules you're going to play by? And what are the rules you're going to break? I am so excited to see what all of you come up with. I am so excited to see who all of you end up becoming. Get out there and have fun. If there is no joy in what you are doing, then why would you do it? I know that you are all going to bring something to this event that is exciting and bold and daring. So good luck. And don't screw it up. If you do, that's okay. You're playing by your own rules, baby.